Good evening, everybody. Today is March 19th, and the Board of Commissioners meeting is called to order at 6 p.m. Commissioner Hodges, will you please lead us in the invocation and then pledge the flag?
Please stand. Our most gracious Heavenly Father, what a wonderful city you have given us to live in and to take care of and to be part of. We ask you to bless all the commissioners here tonight, as well as all those in attendance. We ask that you take care of all the citizens of Madeira Beach as we make decisions affecting Madeira Beach and all that live here. May we keep you front and center. It is in your name we pray. Amen. Please remain standing for the pledge of the flag. Pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Will the city clerk please call the roll?
Vice Mayor Weinstein.
Here.
Commissioner Hodges.
Here.
Commissioner Donovan.
Present.
Commissioner Douthert.
Present.
Mayor Black.
Present. First item on the agenda is the municipal election items. City Manager.
Madam Mayor, members of the Board of Commissioners, and members of the public, it is my esteemed honor to recognize Commissioner Barbara Donovan for her service for the Commission of District 3, serving from March 4th, 2019 to March 19th, 2019. We certainly appreciate your commitment to serve this community and your commitment to serve this country that you have done and served so graciously. We are certainly honored and humbled to have worked with you, and certainly your impeccable attendance record that goes without saying. So if you can join me at the podium so I could present you the certificate and thank you for your service.
Am I allowed to tear?
Yes, you are.
Thank you, Commissioner. Next, we have the installation of the elected officials. City Clerk.
First, I would like Doug Andrews to come forward. After I say aye, if you,
Oh, okay.
after I, is that on?
It's on.
After I say aye, just you state your name for the,
Okay.
and then repeat after me.
Okay.
I
Doug Andrews,
do solemnly swear or affirm
do solemnly swear or affirm
that I will support, protect, and defend
that I will support, protect, and defend
the Constitution and government of the United States
the Constitution and government of the United States
and of the state of Florida,
and of the state of Florida,
the city charter, the
City-
city codes,
city charter, the city codes,
and policies and procedures of the city of Madeira Beach,
and policies and procedures of the city of Madeira Beach.
and that I am duly qualified to hold office
And I am duly qualified to hold office
under the Constitution of the state,
under the Constitution of the state,
and that I will well and faithfully perform
and that I will well and faithfully perform
the duties of Commissioner 3
the duties of Commissioner 3
upon in which I am about to enter,
upon which I am about to enter.
so help me God.
So help me God.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
John Douthert.
Thank you, Jim.
I I
I, Johnny Douthert,
do solemnly swear or affirm
do solemnly swear or affirm
that I will support, protect, and defend
I will support, defend, and protect
the Constitution and government of the United States
the Constitution and government of the United States
and of the state of Florida,
and of the state of Florida,
the city charters or the city codes,
the city charter and the city codes,
and policies and procedures of the city of Madeira Beach,
and policies and procedures of the city of Madeira Beach,
and that I am duly qualified to hold office
and I am duly qualified to hold office
under the Constitution of the state,
under the Constitution of the state,
and that I will well and faithfully perform
and I will well and faithfully perform
the duties of Commissioner District 4,
duties of Commissioner District 4,
upon which I am about to enter,
on which I am about to enter,
so help me God.
so help me God.
Congratulations.
Next item on the agenda is the appointment of a vice mayor.
We want to do the roll call first.
Oh, I apologize. Roll call, please.
Vice Mayor Weinstein,
Here.
Commissioner Hodges,
Here.
Commissioner Andrews,
Here.
Commissioner Douthat,
Present.
Mayor Black.
Present. And now we will have the appointment of the vice mayor. Do we have a motion?
I make a motion that we appoint Commissioner Hodges as the vice mayor.
I second.
Was that a second?
Yes.
Thank you. Any discussion? Will the city clerk please call the roll?
Commissioner Douthat,
Yes.
Commissioner Andrews.
Yes.
Commissioner Hodges,
Yes.
Vice Mayor Weinstein,
Yes.
Mayor Black.
Yes. Congratulations. Next, we have approval of the agenda, and I understand there are some people who will need to leave early, so I am asked to move the appointment of the planning commissioner up to after the consent agenda.
I don't have a problem with it. That is under new business D,
Yes.
11D, okay.
And Madam Mayor, we have just received a letter late this afternoon with regards to ordinance 2019-05, the PD for the Schooner project. The applicant has asked for a continuance, and so staff is requesting that this item be continued and it be brought before the board at another meeting.
Okay?
That was 2019-05.
That is correct. The city attorney has provided me that it will be continued to a date certain, which is May 14th, 2019 at 6 p.m.
And that's item C under 9, correct?
That is correct, under
Okay.
unfinished business.
Do we have a vote? Or, sorry, do we have a motion to approve the agenda as corrected?
I'll make a motion to approve the agenda with the following changes, that 9C be deleted until, or continuance is necessary until May the 14th at 6 p.m., and that item 11D, appointment to the Planning Commission, be the first item on the new business agenda. Is that satisfactory?
I'll second.
Because it is new business.
Yes.
Okay.
I'll second.
Actually, we were going to put it before unfinished business. Can we do that?
Yes, Madam Mayor, you can put it under unfinished business because the board did discuss this in its previous meetings.
Okay. So that would be item E under I mean, sorry, it'll be
Under
item
9,
A now.
okay,
Under
yes.
unfinished
Okay.
business.
Okay.
Do we have a motion to approve?
Made the motion,
Do we have a
so I don't have to
second?
change it.
I'll second it with the changes.
Okay. Will the city clerk please call the roll?
Vice Mayor Weinstein,
Yes.
Commissioner Hodges,
Yes,
Commissioner Andrews,
Yes.
Commissioner Downter,
Yes.
Mayor Black.
Yes. And next we have proclamations, and I'm happy to be the one to present this. This is a proclamation to the Church by the Sea for their 71st anniversary. So if you'll join me at the podium. Is this working? Yes. Church by the Sea, 75th Anniversary Month Proclamation, February 1st to February 28th, 2019. Whereas Church by the Sea of Madeira Beach, Florida, is celebrating their rich history of reaching people from Gulf beaches and throughout surrounding cities for the last 75 years with events all year long in February. Whereas Church by the Sea was a church brought to Madeira Beach in 1944 because the community had a need for a non-denominational church. And whereas Church by the Sea has a vision to create a church where unchurched people love to attend. People who are now to the faith keep growing, who are new to the faith keep growing. People established in faith serving and all discovering the freedom and joy that comes from loving God and loving others. And whereas Church by the Sea is very involved in serving the Madeira Beach community with outreach ministries, the thrift store, youth, children, adult Bible studies, missions, and feeding the homeless. And whereas from its beginning in 1944, Church by the Sea has been a spiritual beacon, and the dream has been a place to have been a place on the beaches that make our communities aware that everyone is welcome here. And whereas February 1st to February 28th, 2019 has been designated Church by the Sea 75th Anniversary Month, now therefore I, Maggie Black, Mayor of Madeira Beach, do hereby proclaim February 1st to February 28th, 2019 as Church by the Sea 75th Anniversary Month in the city of Madeira Beach, and urge all citizens to join in this special recognition.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Translate.
Thank you so much. I appreciate this very much. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Well, I was going to thank them for attending, but they're gone already. But I will say, the church has always been a beacon of light for fishermen who are lost at sea, and I just think they're a great asset to our community. So, thank you. All right, next we have no presentations, so the floor is now open to public comment. Please state your full name and address, and speak clearly and distinctly into the microphone, and please be kind. Thank you.
Steve Kochik, 15301 2nd Street, East Madeira Beach. First of all, I'd like to congratulate John on your victory. It was a well-fought battle, and thank you very much. It was an honor to have run against you. I'd like to thank all the voters of Madeira Beach. They came out and voted and supported me. And I hope now that the message that we both gave really comes through as one that we try to work together to make this a better city for all of us. Congratulations to Doug. I know that you're going to carry the torch, and I know that your wisdom up there is going to be greatly appreciated by a lot of the people here. Thank you very much for allowing me to run, and I look forward to continuing to support some of the policies here, to continue to support the staff, and let's just hope that we have another good year. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Michael Bittler. I live at 9919 56th Place North, St. Petersburg, Florida, on the other side of the bridge. Oh. There we go. All right, there we go. Michael Bittler, 9919 56th Place North, St. Petersburg, Florida, 33708. I'd like to propose two things today. One is a change in the app that's used for the parking on the beach. It's buggy, it doesn't always work properly, and it creates more issues, I feel, than it does create ease of use in the app. Hubbard's Marina uses something called Park Mobile, which is also supported on the iOS and Android devices. Much more streamlined user interface and works well. The other thing I'd like to propose is a change in parking in Johns Pass Park along the seawall. Lots of us, myself being a native and locally born, I've been parking, and as a child, my father parking backwards, fishing off the back of our vehicles, right along the seawall. You still have a clear view of the license plates from anyone that walks behind. There's plenty of room. And as far as safety goes, backing out of that specific section with people coming around the parking area, I've seen accidents occur. I've seen people hit, just people backing out of the parking area to leave that area. But being able to sit on the back of your vehicle or open your trunk and sit there and view the dolphins or the ships coming in and out, the bridge going up and down, it provides a safer environment for people. And for myself, a single father, I can watch my 4 kids playing on the beach, fishing in front of me, with me, or playing down on the end of the jetty as we're enjoying the beach. Ourselves, we attend that park 3 to 4 times a week at a minimum. Multiple other people come and they end up parking there. Lots of people know us by names. We have a good time out there, but to me, being able to park backwards, sit on the back of your vehicle and fish in there would just provide a better experience out there for myself and a lot of the other fishermen. That's really all I have.
Thank you.
I'm going to leave it on.
Does anybody else wish to speak? Public comment is now closed. Next, we have the consent agenda. Do we have a motion to approve?
Mayor, I'd like to ask the city clerk something on that consent agenda. Do I need to, can we approve it and then I'll just say as amended, or? Okay. Yes, I will approve the consent agenda with the following 2 items that I need to mention to the city clerk. With regards to 2019-01-22, the workshop meeting minutes. Let me get my... Okay, City Clerk, if you'll refer to page 8 of 12 in our package that you gave to us this evening, 8 of 12. There was a comment, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Between Mr. Hendricks and Mr. Noren's comments, there was an incorrect comment in there. Okay, if you would please, and I did check it out and live streamed it to make sure that it was not accurate.
I'll have her to correct that.
Okay, and then also on, and this is just really a teeny one, but I just caught it. On page, excuse me just a minute. Okay, it was on page 29, the Board of Commissioners special meeting on February 25th, Correctly, it was called a special meeting, but in the content of the minutes, it was called a regular meeting, so can you just make that change, please? Okay, and with that, I move that the consent agenda be accepted as read with those two changes. Thank you.
Madam Mayor, if I may, there's an item that's in the consent agenda, the list of assets to be approved for disposal. If I can have the finance director provide a point of clarification in the memorandum concerning an item that we are requesting the Board of Commissioners surplus.
Madam Mayor and Commissioners, regarding the list of assets to be approved, there is basically two items here that the Public Works Department is recommending that be disposed of. And one on this list, there's two. I know that under the fiscal impact it says 4. That's incorrect. There's a one asset that's on our list of city assets is the John Deere loader. We are recommending that to be disposed. It was acquired back in 2008. And I know it says that there's a current book value there, but that was the book value last year. The book value right now is 0. And then there's one other item that's really not on our fixed asset list, but it's a floating dock at the marina. It's one asset, but it's in 2 pieces. It's a brown composite floating dock, 10 by 15, and it's got no value at all. It's near the wash basin, and basically the staff wants to dispose of it. I guess it's an eyesore.
And it no longer floats.
So the staff is recommending disposal of the 2005 John Deere loader and the disposal of the floating dock.
Thank you, Director Pierce. We have a motion. Do we have a second?
Yes, I'll certainly concur with that.
I'll second the motion.
Any discussion? The City Clerk, please call the roll.
Vice Mayor Weinstein,
Yes.
Commissioner Hodges,
Yes.
Commissioner Andrews,
Yes.
Commissioner Douthat,
Yes.
Mayor Black.
Yes. And now we're going on to the appointment for the Planning Commission.
Mayor Black, we have 3 applicants for that, and it's Andrew Blazer, Philip DeConte, and J. Roger Pryor. And in the code, it says we do it by vote, tally-in of a vote, so I'm going to give you a slip of paper and let you vote on it. I've got all 3 names, applicants written on the paper.
Madam Mayor, are we going to have the applicants come up and speak before we vote?
Yes.
Before we vote, thank you.
You can number them.
So one for the one we want, 2, 3.
Yes, you can
Okay.
number them how you want to go about
Okay.
that.
And I would now like to ask the people who are running for the Planning Commission to come up just for like 3 minutes and speak a little bit about, your qualifications, et cetera. We'll start with, who's the first one on here? Andrew Blazer.
Good evening. I live at 15304 Harbor Drive, which is that oak tree right at 10 o'clock. Basically, I graduated UCLA, it's California, other part of the country.
Can you speak directly into the mic?
I'm trying.
Yep.
Design major in art, got a job in architecture, spent about 15 years in architecture and production and design, then evolved into construction management, and then went from construction management to general contracting. Dealt on both sides of the desk, both as a owner, a developer, a contractor, and one short stint on the Planning Commission. And Briefly, my concern is I know, and you all know, the bureaucracy involved in getting things done in the city. But when people drive through the city, go through Gulf Boulevard, go into the neighborhoods, they really aren't concerned with setbacks or ordinances or volumes. What they look at is the general aesthetics of the city. And I think it's very important that perhaps, besides being on the Planning Commission, that you all maybe address the establishment of design standards for the city, especially major projects, and maybe establish an architectural review or appearance board that other cities in Florida have. So what areas that we do have left to develop, that everyone is concerned with the appearance and the quality of the development, not just meeting the code and ordinance requirements. I think it's very important because we do have so much limited land here, or mostly the projects are going to be infill. So I would love to serve, but I would also, if I don't serve, is kind of put that in your mind. It's something I think that the city should consider establishing. Thank you for the opportunity.
Mr. DeConte?
Good evening. My name is Phil DeConte, and Mayor, Commissioners, and City Manager, I want to thank you for this opportunity to serve. I've been here 9 years. I've leased a few years. Then I purchased a property on the beach at 131st Avenue. And so I went through a lot of planning and commissioning and trying to understand where do we want to be. I know the cities have had different thoughts, different factions of the city. I want to bring in a new perspective, new blood. My background is we have 6 kids. I have 3 girls. My wife has 3 boys. And we really want to make a difference. We've chosen Madeira Beach because of the lifestyle, where we want to live, where we want to spend our remaining days. So my background is an MBA, business. I worked in aerospace. I worked for Michael Dell in Austin. And 13 years ago, I started my own company called Merchant Gateway, which we've been very fortunate and blessed, allowing us to reside and really put more full-time initiative in this city that has given us so much pleasure and fun. So thank you for your interest, and I'm going to be here to serve no matter what, whether I'm on the Planning Commission, getting more involved in the city, to really want to make this the best place to live. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Pryor?
Hello? Hello. My name is Roger Pryor. I live at 223 144th Avenue. Several of you around here have been involved in the recent campaign, and I've sent brochures and information to everybody about who I am. But in case we don't know, I am a retired manager for telecommunications. I've done public works. I've gone to Georgia Institute of Technology, where I'm in electrical engineering, and I went to a little school down in Boca Raton called Florida Atlantic, which is now a bigger school in the MBA program. And I have a real history of providing results in business as well as in residential, architecture, electrical, plumbing, public works. I've been public works managers, so I know public works, I know roads, I know undergrounding, I know all those types of things. I know you're tired of hearing that because I ran for so long. So I do congratulate Doug, and I hope that everything will work out good. I do have faith in him as well as the rest of us. So without boring you too long, I'm going to say one more thing. I got a truckload of signs out here that are used campaign signs, and they're cheap.
Thank you. All right, so I believe at this point we can fill out our ballots. Are you going to collect them?
Yes, ma'am. You already done?
Are we?
That's fast.
Okay. Anybody want to sing a song or something?
J. Roger Pryor has 3, and Philip DeConte 2.
Well, congratulations, Mr. Pryor. All right, we're on to unfinished business. The first item is ordinance 2019-03, called meetings of the Civil Service Commission, second reading and hearing. City Clerk.
Yes, ma'am. At the December 18, 2019 Board
Can you
of
hold for
Commissioners.
one minute? I'm sorry, Mayor and Clerk. The city manager has a question. What was the question? Okay, he's pointing out that since you voted by ballots and writing your names, the clerk will need to read who you voted for because it has to be public under sunshine law. Did everyone sign their name to the ballots? There's no secret ballots. You'll have to vote, just do a roll call or make a motion in a second. You can't do secret ballots. That issue came up before.
Oh, okay.
Well,
you can't
why
do
don't I
sec-
just call for a motion then?
Why don't we call for a motion in a second?
Right.
And I can read each one if you want me to. It doesn't have a name on it.
If they don't have names on them, just tear them up and the people will have to disclose them.
Okay. Yes, sir.
Consider
Madam
that
Mayor.
Practice.
Okay, yes, Madam Mayor.
That was the first time I ever had that.
Sorry.
With tally.
Okay, I would like to make a motion to appoint J. Roger Pryor to the Planning Commission.
So we need a second.
You have a motion, and then
It is
you
a
get a
vote.
second, and then you'll vote on it. And then if that one
I
fails,
second.
then they go to another one.
Will the city clerk please call the roll?
Who, Andrews? Okay. Vice Mayor Weinstein,
Yes.
Commissioner Andrews,
Yes.
Commissioner Hodges,
Yes.
Commissioner Douther,
Yes.
Mayor Black.
Yes. All right, jumping ahead again to ordinance 2019-03, City Clerk.
There's just one position, right? Thanks for catching that.
Yes, this ordinance originated from Vice Mayor Weinstein. At the December 18, 2019 Board of Commissioners meeting, the city manager explained that the city clerk is currently the support staff to the Civil Service Commission, and it puts additional duties and responsibilities on the city clerk's office. It would be better for the Human Resources Coordinator in the city manager's office to take over that function since the information that is provided to the Civil Service Commission for discussion is related to human resources and the city manager. The human resources staff and/or city manager's designee shall serve as staff persons for the Civil Service Commission, prepare the agendas, and provide the information to the Civil Service Commission. This allows the city clerk's office to focus more on meetings and agenda preparation for the Board of Commissioners and not be involved in the duties and responsibilities of the Civil Service Commission. And I'll read the ordinance by heading only, ordinance 2019-03, an ordinance amending City Code Article 3, Boards, Committees, Commissions, Division 4, Civil Service Commission, Organization, Section 2-127, regarding meetings of the Civil Service Commission.
Any discussion from the board?
Yes, I'd like to make a comment. I know we talked about this before, but since there are so many legal issues involved in the Civil Service Commission here, isn't it advisable that we have, like, the Human Resources and an attorney, whether it be you, Mr. Brooks, or the labor attorney?
The actual ordinance language that we discussed last time and are still discussing appears on the second page. So you'll want to look there. And where it says section 1 here. And then under G, Roman numeral IV4, the city attorney or an employment lawyer for the city may attend Civil Service Commission meetings as may be necessary or desired. You could make that stronger by saying that they have to be at every one. I think this gives you the discretion to have them there when you need them.
Okay, but the one just before that, where it says human resources staff or a city manager's signing shall serve as staff person for the civil service. That's what I was looking
And
at.
attend, yeah. So that, for the human resources staff, they're a shall, so they have to be there. And then for the city attorney, the way it's written now is that they may attend. And I think that's at the request of the city, or if the city attorney thinks it's advisable. You could make that shall attend if you want to make it mandatory. It costs money for the city attorneys and employment lawyers to be there, where the staff is here anyway, so it doesn't really cost any extra money. That's why we had the may attend. I think we were talking about costs last time. Cost for attorney services. And then the other parts of the ordinance were talking about coordinating with the city manager's office and setting meeting dates and times. And then clarifying, as set forth in the charter, the Civil Service Commission is an advisory board that makes non-binding advisory recommendations to the city manager. If that changes in the future with the charter revision, then that might change, but that's how it's set up now.
Guys, I am completely and utterly against this. What we're doing is we are eliminating a system of checks and balances on our city manager. This is nothing against Jonathan, it's nothing against anybody. But putting Jonathan in charge of a group that is hearing grievance hearings that can be against him and making him rule on them after they make a decision is completely unwarranted. You can't eliminate a system of checks and balances. You can't limit the amount of meetings. We don't limit any meetings of any other group here. We've had budget meetings that they can go all day. We're talking about costs involved. That's not what this is. We don't need an attorney there. These are non-binding, okay, non-judicial decisions that these people are making, okay? They can read a manual. They can make the changes to the manual. If they need an attorney, they call one in. That's been done all along since the beginning. And frankly, you know, this theory that, well, it sat dormant for 4 years, that's not necessarily true. There were meetings scheduled. They were canceled because we never had grievance hearings before. Now all of a sudden we do. To have the city manager in charge of that, we're giving too much power to one person. And frankly, you know, I can't vote for that. That's ridiculous.
I think I'll open it up for public comment on this item. Public comment is now closed. Any more discussion?
No, I disagree with Commissioner Andrews. I think that we have researched it. We have checked with many other communities. We have read and read and read lots of things, and I do stand very pat in the decisions that we have made to allow that our city manager has that responsibility of meeting with the human resources person, scheduling and setting forth the agenda for Civil Service Commission meetings. Thank you.
I mean, you can read anything you want. We have a certain set of rules that are different than every other community that are out there. So read all you want. You need to read our rules. Our rules do not allow for the things that are going on and the things that have happened. I'm steadfastly against this. Honestly, the human resources should be on an island by itself. They should be able to do and administer the discipline that is handed down by the city manager. We're also seeing the city manager abuse the use of discipline by utilizing a suspension with pay. Suspensions with pay aren't for 2 or 3 days. Suspension with pay are things that happen, okay? You suspend somebody with pay while you're investigating their infraction. That's what you do. We are getting, you're suspended with pay for 2 days. So we're giving away 2 and 3 day vacations for nothing. It's costing the taxpayer money. That's what we're doing, okay? It's not in the spirit of what we're doing. And guys, if we're not paying attention to it, we're the only system of checks and balances left. Frankly, if you're going to eliminate what the Civil Service Board can do, I just steadfastly against this. I think we need to actually look to have human resources kind of sit on its own. Human resources can't make decisions when their boss is looking over them and there's grievance hearings against their boss. It's completely irrational and irresponsible, completely.
You know, we've looked at many cities, and most of the cities have done away with the Civil Service Commission altogether. Civil Service Commission, and I worked for the government for a long time, is good for the government. If you have unionized workers, that's when the Civil Service Commission, you know, has its power. Other than that, it truly does not. If we look at the cities that's holding on to the Civil Service Commission, in cities like Jacksonville and stuff like that, the employees are unionized. You know, I think what I believe is that we should do away with our Civil Service Commission altogether. You know, because of the fact that the only thing that we have left that's unionized is the firefighters. And they have their own union. You know, other than that, you know, excuse me, I don't see why we're holding on to the Civil Service Commission. It just doesn't have the teeth that when in 2000, I think it was 12, when the previous city manager did away with the union here, you know, at the same time, they should have done away with the Civil Service Commission. You know, so it's just not, you know, the Civil Service Commission is for unionizing, for the unions. You know, it's not for the right to work state that we live in.
You completely haven't done your research. You completely haven't done your research on this. The Civil Service Commission isn't for the government. The Civil Service Commission is for the employee. It's to protect the employee's rights, and that's what's written into our charter. Now, if you want to get rid of it, then you're completely eliminating every system of checks and balances that we have. And then you let, what happens when we have a real grievance hearing? Everything's got to go to court? We can settle this stuff in-house. That's what we have it here for. But it's by no means is it only for the firefighters or only for a union. It's to protect your employees' rights. And that's what we're here for. That's what we're here for. That's ridiculous, John.
Our agenda tonight asks us to consider the second reading and public hearing of the ordinance 2019-03 meetings of the Civil Service Commission. And that's our intent to do that, Madam Mayor. So I don't know if anybody wants, if there's any more discussion or public comment, and then we can get on with the subject matter.
I believe we did open it for public comment. And yes, okay. Any more discussion before we take a motion?
And I would like to make a motion, if the public hearing is closed, I'd like to make a motion to accept ordinance 2019-03, meetings of the Civil Service Commission on second reading and public hearing. I would like to accept the ordinance.
Approve, you want to approve, vote to approve.
Oh, accept,
the ordinance.
okay. I was thinking
Instead of accept, you're going to say approve.
Okay, approve, okay. The meetings of the Civil Service Commission upon second reading and public hearing.
I'll second.
Any more discussion? Will the city clerk please call the roll?
Vice Mayor Weinstein,
Yes.
Commissioner Douthat,
Yes.
Commissioner Hodges,
No.
Commissioner Andrews,
Absolutely not.
Mayor Black.
Yes. Next item, excuse me, is ordinance 2019-04, Board of Commissioners Salary Corrections, second reading and public hearing. City clerk.
Ordinance 2019-04, an ordinance of the City of Madeira Beach, Florida, amending Ordinance 2015-08 to correct a scrivener's error in the annual salary of the District Commissioners and providing for an effective date. And I'll read the memo here. On July 14, 2015, the Board of Commissioners adopted Ordinance 2015-08, increasing the annual salary of the mayor to $10,000 and increasing the annual salary of the District Commissioners to $7,000. At the April 28, 2015 Board of Commissioners workshop meeting, the board consented to increasing the mayor's annual salary to $10,000 and the District Commissioner's annual salary to $7,500. However, when Ordinance 2015-08 was prepared for adoption, the annual salary amount stated for the District Commissioners was incorrect. It stated $7,000 and not $7,500. The error went unnoticed from the first reading of the ordinance to its adoption. The Board of Commissioners began receiving the new annual salary on the date of commencement of the terms of the Commissioners elected in March 2016. In December 2018, a citizen contacted the current city clerk concerning the salary discrepancy. After researching, the city clerk confirmed that there appeared to be an error made. The current city attorney confirmed that there appeared to be a scrivener's error based on his review of the researched information and consulted with the Assistant Counsel for the State of Florida Division of Elections. District Commissioners were intended to and will continue receiving an annual salary of $7,500 and will not have to reimburse the city due to the error. There is no fiscal impact. District Commissioners were intended to and will continue receiving the annual salary of $7,500 and will not have to reimburse the city due to the error. The recommendation is for the Board of Commissioners to approve Ordinance 2019-04, correcting a scrivener's error in the District Commissioner's annual salary amount after second reading and public hearing.
Any discussion from the board? The floor is open for public comment. Floor is closed. Do we have a motion?
I'll make the motion to approve ordinance 2019-04.
I'll second that.
Will the city clerk please call the roll?
Commissioner Hodges?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Weinstein?
Yes.
Commissioner Andrews?
Yep, yes, I'm sorry.
Commissioner Douther?
Yes.
Mayor Black?
Yes. Next, under new business, we have Resolution 2019-06, granting a 20-cent discount for the 2019 grunt hunt. City Manager.
Madam Mayor, if I can have the clerk read the title of the resolution into the record.
And also my error. Commissioner Hodges, you are now Vice Mayor, so I apologize for that. To get used to that.
Page 2, yep.
Resolution 2019-06, a resolution providing fuel for discounts not to exceed 20 cents per gallon to be available to participants, registrants of the City of Madeira Beach annual grunt hunt fishing tournaments from March the 21st to March the 23rd, 2019, providing for severability, providing for repeater, providing for an effective.
Madam Mayor, members of the Board of Commissioners, pursuant to Ordinance 2018-03, this particular ordinance is our fee ordinance that does not provide unilateral authority for the city manager to grant a waiver of fees that are levied at the municipal marina. What staff is requesting is that we offer the 20 cents off per gallon discount for folks that participate in our annual grunt hunt. In conversations that I've had with staff, that this has been a nice benefit for those that participate, and we do see an uptick in participation and revenue generation. If the board is so inclined to provide this discount, we will provide the board what our fuel sales normally would be on any regular day, and then with this particular event. Also, one of the things that we would like to bring back to the board in a subsequent meeting is looking to incorporate this discount for some of our festivals, our events, and that would be a discussion that we will have with the Board of Commissioners at your March 26th meeting when we have the fee ordinance on the docket for discussion. So at this time, staff is requesting authorization to provide the city manager the authority to grant a 20 cents off per gallon discount for the month of the date of March 21st through March 23rd, specifically and exclusively for those that are participating in the 2019 Madeira Beach Grunt Hunt. And staff stands prepared to answer any questions.
Any discussion from the board?
Thank you, Jonathan. I think this is a great incentive, really. I mean, it's always worked out before, so this time we've got it on paper, and I think it's a good move. I really do. Thank you.
Are we currently giving discounts at the marina, gas discounts still, after the audit?
Yes, sir.
Okay. I thought there was, the horror of the audit was that we lost $350,000 in lost revenue, and we're still continuing to do that. Isn't that going against what the audit was all about?
The ordinance 2018-03 provided the authorization for staff to grant the discount.
To continue to grant the same discount that we were talking about being lost revenue, right? Okay. Now, I mean, I'm all for this. This is great. I mean, but this should be an across-the-board thing. How much are we currently marking gas up?
The markup for gas is about 70 cents.
Okay, so we're still making 50 cents a gallon. And we've always, even in the audit, was there any gas that was given away at less than a profit?
Not to my knowledge, Commissioner.
Okay, so it was all profitable gas, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay, but we threw a big number out there to scare everybody and go crazy. Okay, I just wanted to clear that up.
Floor is open for public comment on this item.
I'm just wondering if this is going to be done on the honor system or if someone's going to have to provide a piece of paper saying, I'm enrolled in the tournament.
Madam Mayor, if I may, it's specifically and exclusively to the day, for the day of the tournament. Working with finance and the marina staff, we will have a mechanism to ensure that those folks that are participating are the ones receiving that benefit.
Anyone else wish to speak? Floor is now closed on this item. Any more discussion?
I'll go ahead and make the motion to approve Resolution 2019-06.
I'll second.
Will the city clerk please call the roll?
Vice Mayor Hodges,
Yes.
Commissioner Andrews,
Yes.
Commissioner Douthat,
Yes.
Commissioner Weinstein,
Yes.
Mayor Black.
Yes. Next, we have a request to add a seasonal part-time parking enforcement officer, Director Pierce.
Madam Mayor and Commissioners, I'll let Brian Rao, our parking supervisor, explain this further, but just in summary, part-time officer working 20 to 25 hours per week is needed from spring break through September, which allows for additional coverage as daytime increases over the summer months, and to place a full-time person at Johns Pass Village to provide more customer service, which is something we've been hearing that's wanted or needed. So this is 25 hours per week. The total comes to basically $7,267.26, and this is money that is within the parking enforcement department or budget. We had some savings due to some creative situations in the banking services where we're going to save probably about $5,000, and then in personnel services we had some changeover at the beginning of the year, and Brian actually started at the beginning of the fiscal year as well. So we have about 5,000 there. So there's 10,000 of money in the budget that's available to cover this. So, and Brian, if you want to elaborate it further.
Madam Mayor, Commissioners, I think Mr. Pierce covered most of it, but really the heart of it is providing additional customer service, specifically when we have our current employees, if they take vacation time in the summer, and again with the longer days, and do the rounds around Johns Pass pretty much consistently all day, just to help folks out.
Madam Mayor, if I may, didn't we also just recently adopt an agreement with Park Mobile with respect to our machines?
We did. So we talked about this in the meeting in February, and we're about 2 weeks away from kickoff with them. So all the digital connections are being done. Right, so we'll have 2 apps. We'll have the Way to Park app, which we currently have, and we're adding Park Mobile. Works basically the same way, both apps, and I think it's going to really help us out quite a bit with some of the younger folks.
Thing as far as the parking is concerned, we did a pilot of Archibald parking, and where we just had credit card collection and not change, and we've been doing that for how long? About 3 weeks, and we really have gotten no complaints at all, and that's just a little experiment that we've been doing.
I have a question. You've done the study like in Archibald, is that correct, for the new app to be used?
No, ma'am. We just turned the Archibald machines to credit card only. So we basically put a blocker in so you can't put quarters in.
Okay.
And all feedback we've gotten, we've talked to people daily. Nobody seems to care. The Snack Shack staff, we talk to them regularly. They've received no complaints. We've gotten none at the city. Revenue is really, it's not affected at all. Generally, actually, with credit cards, our individual purchase amount it's a bigger number. It's a little over $4 versus with cash, it's usually about $2 and change.
Okay, well, that's excellent. But my other thought is are you what about Johns Pass Village, for instance? Are you still getting what is your customer service philosophy? What are you really providing? Are you providing help if people make complaints? Are you providing help to assist them if they don't know how to use the machine? I mean,
mostly using the machines. You're down there. I know. I see you down there constantly.
All the time.
And I will tell you, people have a heck of a time with putting their license plates into the machine. I can't understand why. It's your license plate. So we're constantly helping people take a picture with your phone, walk over, type it in, put your receipt on, and then people will make typos. About 15% of our purchases we end up voiding because people make typos. I don't know how to fix that. I'm open to suggestions if anyone can help me help our visitors read. But they just type the wrong license plate number into the machine.
okay, I just see so many people. I've noticed it recently making using their cell phone to make a picture of their license plate and then taking it up to the meter, which I thought was really excellent.
And we try and we're trying to go aggressive customer service. I've instructed them to walk up to the machine, ma'am, sir, can I help you with this? Do you know how to use the machine? Hey, take your polarized sunglasses off because it's harder to read the screen with polarized lenses on, and people don't realize that.
Right.
We also are heavily engaged with the Chamber of Commerce folks that man the booth down there. They call us, we talk to them constantly, so they help us respond to folks there as well.
Okay, thank you. I was just curious.
I just want to say, I think during the busy season, this is a good idea to have some additional help because a lot of people don't know how to work machines. I was with a friend on town one time and recently, and she couldn't figure out how to work the machine. The sun was on it. She couldn't see it. She was too short. She couldn't reach it. You know, if someone was around who could come up and say, here, let me help you, they'd have a much better experience.
Yes, ma'am, and that's why really the intent is to have somebody stay in the pass the whole time. They'll carry their ticket writing machine with them, but that's not their focus. Their focus is walking up and talking to visitors constantly.
Customer service.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you.
Okay, I got a real issue, man. I got a ticket the other day.
Yes, sir. I know you did.
You know what, and this might not even be the time to talk about it, but I was under the impression we didn't have to re-register. Can we let everybody know what the procedure is for this year, that everybody does have to re-register again? Your license plate isn't automatically on file?
Yes, Commissioner.
Don't you know
year.
who I am, man? You give me, I'm kidding.
And we do know a lot of the cars, to be truthful, with folks, especially with some of the guests. We know the woman who rents the apartment from us down there in John's Pass. People steal her parking space regularly. And she'll park near it, and we just know her car, so we know not to give her a ticket because somebody took her spot. And if there's a car there late at night or early in the morning, and her Lexus is parked over there, okay, we know who it is. So, but yes, you have to register every year because we don't know if you've moved. Had an issue with a resident who has never registered. They said they lived here for 6 years, but they've never registered. Well, they rent. I can't look you up in the property assessors to see if you're here. And so I really don't have any other way for you to do it than to come into City Hall, go to the front desk, and the folks right there will help you, as I know most of you probably already have.
I just think some people were confused on it. I think the last time there was one presentation I heard that you know, your license plate, if it's on file already, would already be, but that doesn't make any sense. So, you know, you guys are right. I just want to make sure everybody knew that they had to register again or they're going to get a ticket.
Well, and with the residents, if you haven't registered and you get a ticket, just come to the front desk and we'll take care of you and get that taken care of. So, as we do with you, Commissioner.
The floor is now open for public comment. Yes, sir.
Robert Preston, 425 South Bayshore Drive, Madeira Beach. A couple things. When I went to go get my car, they still gave stickers. So is it stickers or is it the license plate number? What is it?
So we are giving stickers this year, but we are putting all of them into a database, and your license plate shows up on the enforcement officer's handheld. We're making sure the system is working as it should, and so we plan next year to not do stickers. So next year, you won't get a sticker. Save us a bit of money.
Okay. And the other question is, I've used Park Mobile in a lot of places. It works absolutely great. You don't even need a machine. You have your phone, and it's taken care of. So are we paying two services?
We don't pay any fees at all for either app. The user pays a fee. So when you use your Park Mobile app anywhere, they charge you 35 cents. That's how they get paid. We pay zero. You don't pay the city any additional money other than what you're paying for parking. So as far as we're concerned, it's the same as using the pay station.
But we're paying for those machines, right?
Yes.
So if you just had Park Mobile, we wouldn't pay for machines.
That's correct.
How much are the machines a year?
A year. But one of the things, Madam Mayor, if I may, is that not all the transactions are happening through the mobile app. So you still have to have the pay stations at places like downtown St. Petersburg. They have the Park Mobile on the coin machines, but they still have the opportunity for folks to pay in other ways. So we're allowing for, it hasn't moved, the industry hasn't moved to where it's completely digital and everyone's utilizing their mobile device. So we would still need to utilize the machines. Now, where they're deployed and the number, that's something as trends change, we may have to continue to look at.
Okay.
Currently, we average about 3.5% of people use a mobile app. I'm hoping that number will go up significantly once Park Mobile gets on board here after a few months, which is a trend I've seen talking to other communities. But again, we're not there. We're at 4%.
Okay, I was just checking. And I still see a lot of people spend way too much time with those machines. Way too much time. Thank you.
Michael Bittler again, 9919 56 Place North. I just wanted to express also on the machines at John's Pass, since my 4 children and I are there multiple times a week, we go and we do help some of the people, but something that we've proposed is, I've spoken to Jared, I believe, that one machine that's near the seawall, the side needs to be shielded just a little more to shield it from the sun. So just maybe another piece of steel added on there to help shield it so people can access the machine better when the sun is setting or during noon or whatever time it is that it's harder for people to see. Something else I've also told citizens to do, and myself, we save a contact in our phone that is our vehicle, and it has our VIN number, insurance, license plate number, just simple things like that. So if we go up and we need to punch it in, we can look real quick and just punch it in. Just a helpful thing.
Yeah, we're actually looking at a couple different options, from turning some of the machines to some sort of sunshade to try and get the ones that generally face due west, that are exposed from the west.
Please speak into the mic and give us your address.
As far as the parking situation.
Excuse me. Please state your name and address.
Daniel Perry, and my address is 106 145th Avenue, East Madeira Beach, 33708. Have you thought about integrating it with SunPass?
It's not an option I'm familiar with, but we can certainly take a look at that.
You can drive by at like a binker that just automatically snaps the plate, and then you park in there, kind of like when you go over the tolls.
Not unfamiliar with that, but I'll certainly look into that.
Okay, excellent. Thank you very much.
The only disadvantage I could see to that system is if, I think many of us have driven through those lots, circling, and if it dings you every time, well, it's a great opportunity for revenue generation, so we have to definitely look into that, so.
Loree Tyner, 4996 Miramar. Yes, I like it. I'm the GM of the Snack Shack, and I have given out a lot less change. Goodness, because I was getting tired of running to the bank all the time. The only suggestion I have is more signage. Like at the beginning, whenever you're pulling in, that's the only comment, and I have passed it along to them, so they are working on it, but I just wanted to put it out there. They're driving around, finding a parking space, then parking, then realizing they need their credit card, and they didn't bring it because they were just going to go have some fun on the sand. So just more signage, maybe put it on our website, put it out on social media, just something where, you know, I don't know, even put it in the hotels or something, just so it makes people aware of it before they get down there, because then they would get upset because then they have to go through finding a parking space again after they leave. But no, I really like it, so it's a good idea. Thank you. They are very helpful. They come up all the time. Everything going okay, so I really appreciate all y'all's help. Okay?
Thank you.
Thanks.
Anybody else wish to speak? Public comment is now closed. Any more discussion?
No, but I certainly will agree to approve the request to add a seasonal part-time parking enforcement officer.
I'll second.
Will the city clerk please call the roll?
Commissioner Weinstein?
Yes?
Commissioner Douther?
Yes.
Commissioner Andrews?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Hodges?
Yes.
Mayor Black?
Yes. Next, we have the fire station generator repair and rental of a backup generator. Fire Chief?
Madam Mayor and Commissioners, right around March 7th, the city's backup generator at the municipal fire station had a critical failure, and we had the original company who provided that equipment, TAW Power Systems, come and determine what the problem was. And you can see in the packet provided that that it was rats that caused this failure. Actually, we had an infestation of rats that cut the winding wires, which are included in the pictures I provided, and the generator motor which is also there. And so TAW provided a proposal totaling $19,850. I will say the original quote that we got was from Coastal that came first, and that proposal was $25,653.56. And with the help of the building official, we did get that second opinion, which will save us money going with TAW. There's going to be a few weeks before this is totally repaired. So in the meantime, there'll be a rental generator provided by Sunbelt Rentals. That proposal is also included in the attached, and that's estimated to be $5,087.88. The install for this is also attached, and that's $999.35 with Coastal. Unfortunately, the generator wasn't under warranty to cover something like this. What TAW is going to do is, after they're done, is put a wire around the whole generator, a particular type of metal screen that will help not have the intrusion that we had before. Basically, in one of the pictures, it shows the hole there and one of the piping and surrounding that pipe, and that's where they were going into. Because this generator is intended to protect the health, safety, and welfare of the public, the funding of this repair will come, or is recommended coming from the city's emergency reserve and fund balance, which presently has a total of $2.2 million. And the total of all the proposals to correct this is $25,937.23. Once this is corrected, we estimate, and we've been told, that there will be, continue to be, a good 15 years life of the generator. A new generator estimated by TAW was going to cost $60,000 and probably take 5 to 6 months to be delivered and to be implemented. So staff recommends that the City Commission approve the estimated repair and the rental costs not to exceed $25,000 or $26,000. And I think the chief wants to make a couple of comments as well.
I think you've done very well with that, actually. It's just an essential function of the fire service. If our power goes down, we basically, after our battery backup power is expended, we don't have any communication with Pinellas County dispatch system. So it is a critical function for us. We were down for a day or so before we got emergency backup power put in place, but everything is operational now, and it's not only during disaster operation, but you know as well as I do, whenever it rains hard around here, you get a good storm comes to town, the power goes out for a time. So this will make sure and ensure that we have the proper communication so we can be reached during emergency operations.
I have a question.
Yes, ma'am.
All these numbers and everything floating around, and I'm just a little confused. And you read it, well, just the way it's on the paper here, but I just wanted to verify something. It says that the emergency repair for the generator, that was the value of $19,850?
Yeah,
okay?
the cost to actually repair the winding wires and to take care of that damage is $19,850.
Okay.
The original quote that we got, the company that originally went out there, which was Coastal, gave us a quote of $25,653. We're ignoring that.
Okay.
And actually, with the help of the building official who helped me, we're saving $5,000 here.
Right. Well, the question I have is that it says here for the emergency repair, it's going to come from the city's emergency reserve, the general fund balance. Okay. Then on the next line here, it says the total cost for the repair and rental of this generator will be $25,937.23.
Yeah, that's the $19,850 plus the rental of the rental generator, which is $5,087.88, and the $999.35 to install the rental. Those three add up to the $25,000.
Okay, now that's coming out of the fire department's budget.
Well, what will happen
Capital
is,
improvement?
what will happen is we will charge the fire department capital improvement account, which is nothing there right now, but we will move the money from the emergency reserve into that account.
Okay, I was just looking at repairs and rental and repairs, and I'm going,
I understand.
oh my gosh. But another thing too, do we have a grant for FEMA on this now? Are we working on a grant for FEMA?
No, ma'am, this is strictly repairs.
Okay, but what about the new generator that they want to put in for 60,000?
On the new generator, which came up at the previous city commission meeting, there is still a grant that has been prepared and documented to go against the cost of that unit.
Good, I just wanted to make sure, thank you.
And how long will it take to repair it?
It should be within the month.
Okay, good. Any more discussion?
Yeah, I have a question. Why are there only 2 bids? I thought anything over 15 grand, we had to have 3 bids.
Due to the emergency of this nature and the time that because this is an emergency, we could not delay in taking care of this. So Coastal was not a bid, but was the first repair on site. And actually, we were prepared to go with them because this is an emergency. And we did get a second opinion, and that's when TAW, who originally put in the unit, we had them go out at a second opinion to provide that, and they did provide a lower cost. They provide that lower cost because they had, provided the original unit. Normally, if they didn't have a relationship with us, it would probably be more. It would probably be up around.
No, I mean, for an emergency, I don't have a problem, but, the bottom line is we got to get back to following the rules. We did that marina audit without getting any bids on a $50,000 deal, so let's try to get back to getting 3 bids. I think that would be important.
Madam Mayor, if I may, pursuant to the charter, the Board of Commissioners does have the authority to authorize any deviations from the procurement policies for things such as the item that's in front of you this evening and any other items that we bring before you. So you do have the authority to do such. And that's been researched by the city attorney as well.
Thank you. Floor is now open for public comment on this item.
Robert Preston, 425 South Bay Shore Drive, Madeira Beach. Just on the 2 bids and you calling in an emergency, the emergency's over. There's a portable generator doing what the other one's supposed to be. So there is a non-emergency at this time. Is that correct?
I want you to finish your comments.
That's it. Is that correct? There's not an emergency now, right?
Everything is operational at this time. However, I think they bid that out on a weekly basis, so there's an additional charge I believe it's every 7 days that charge increases. So, yes, sir.
Yeah, I don't have any problem with that, but you've known that for a long time. You could have got another bid. Thank you.
If we continued on and not have this proposal from TAW, the rental of this 5,000 would probably double after every 2 or 3 weeks. So instead of 5,000, if we sat on this and didn't do anything, this would probably grow to be probably $15,000, $20,000 before we knew it. Doesn't make any sense.
Does anybody else wish to speak? Floor is now closed in this item. Any more discussion from the board? Do we have a motion?
I'll make the motion then for the approval of the generator repair and the rental of the backup generator.
I'll second.
more discussion? Will the city clerk please call the roll?
Vice Mayor Hodges?
Yes.
Commissioner Douther?
Yes.
Commissioner Weinstein?
Yes.
Commissioner Andrews?
Yes.
Mayor Black?
Yes. Going on to staff reports, we've got the Board of Commissioners Policy Handbook, City Manager.
Madam Mayor and members of the Board of Commissioners, in front of you this evening is the amendments to the Board of Commissioners Policy Handbooks pursuant to the city charter. And based on your rules, you are to adopt your procedures and policies within 90 days of a municipal election. Staff has presented some items here for you to consider as you have an opportunity from now until the workshop of April 23rd, 2019. At that time, staff will take the feedback and consensus from the Board of Commissioners and ultimately present you a resolution that will adopt your policy handbook. There's some elements in here that the city clerk and myself have had an opportunity to go through the document and provide some perspective on certain items that we think the Board of Commissioners should consider as part of your new policies and procedures manual, but this is merely the first step in providing you the document for review, and then we will bring this back to you at the workshop in April and ultimately bring it before you for adoption at your meeting first regular meeting of the Board of Commissioners in May. And staff stands prepared to answer any questions that the Board of Commissioners may have.
So we're just going to put our recommendations in the April. Do you want them before that? If we have, like,
If you have any questions, certainly if you can contact the city clerk or myself, but I think it would be germane to have the conversation in the public at the workshop in April.
Okay.
Does anyone have any discussion about this?
I have one question for the city clerk. I'm looking at the current handbook that we have, city clerk, and I just want to make sure, because I was starting to read through it already, okay? But the strikeouts and the deletions and the strikeouts that you have, okay, with your copy, are based on the language that needs to be changed for
Yes.
housekeeping, or is that right?
Yes, ma'am. Some of it is based on what the charter says, the language there, and some of it is due to recent charter amendments. Like the PD, the majority vote on that, and
Yeah, the charter changes. Okay, thank you, thank you. And we can call and make an appointment if we want to, with you, if we want to go over any of that.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
One thing I did notice, reading through it briefly, is that staff reports like this one and the one coming up from the chief are only going to be limited to, or going to be limited to 10 minutes, and reports and correspondence will be limited to 3 minutes each. So I think that's a good idea to put a limit on that.
Madam Mayor, I had to fight with the city clerk to get 10 minutes. She had it at 5, so, but.
Well, thanks for trying.
It doesn't mean you have to use all your minutes.
Any more discussion about that subject? Okay. And next, we have Fire Rescue 2018 Annual Report. Chief O'Neill.
Thank you, Madam Mayor and Commissioners. I'm pleased to also introduce with you George Hill, who is a lieutenant on A shift, and is also our union representative. Annually, we produce an annual report of the fire service that gives the city manager and the community basically a snapshot of what's going on with the city. You should have already received a copy of this. And Trish Eaton does a very nice job putting this together for us annually. And basically, just to give you an overview, they already told me I was limited to 10 minutes, so I'll try not to miss anything here. But, it's going to give you a snapshot of what it costs to provide fire protection for the city and what you're actually getting for our money. And I have good news and I have better news. The good news is, and this is not going to sound like good news when I first say it, it costs you $1.5 million for fire protection in the city of Madeira Beach. The better news about that, it's probably the most efficient, most effective fire service in Pinellas County. And actually, Director Portell and myself are having a meeting with the University of Florida where we're going to try to actually quantify that so we actually have those numbers in place to validate what we're telling you. Of that $1.5 million, we also received funding from Pinellas County EMS to the tune of $440,000. We also received revenue from the Reddington communities where we provide fire protection at $246,000 and $8,000 in inspection and user fees. So that actually drops the cost of your fire service here in the city of Madeira Beach down to $882,000 in round numbers. And what do you get for that service? That's the question. Well, you get 2 administrative staff, myself and my secretarial staff. You get a fire inspector, you get 3 lieutenants, 3 driver engineers, and 6 firefighter paramedics. Clover is free, so I'll tell you that up front. And all of our fire service personnel are all paramedics. That means they're trained to advanced life support levels of service. That gives us a whole different level of service that we're providing to our community. We are a full service community. We work 24 hours, 7 days a week. There's never a day that there's not someone here providing fire and emergency services to our community. We run about 1,700 calls a year, and the vast majority of those are medical-related incidents. And that's pretty much typical for the United States as a whole. Some of the things that I'm very proud of is our response time within the city of Madeira Beach. Our average response time is just over 4 minutes every year. And I attribute that to a couple of things. Number one is our fast response time getting in the truck and getting out of the station. Pinellas County tracks a lot of statistics county-wide. So the city of Madeira Beach, has the fastest response time out of the station consistently for the past 2 years, and that's when they first started tracking it. And I attribute that partially to the station design, because there's not a place in the station where you can't walk out and walk directly into the apparatus bay. But I also attribute that to our personnel. You have some of the best firefighters, most dedicated firefighters in the county operating here for us. And that's a pretty big deal when you think about having to get up in the middle of the night and get dressed and get in a piece of apparatus and respond to an emergency call. So that's a huge issue. On some of the subsequent pages there, you'll see things that we do for training. A lot of our training is mandated by the state of Florida, mandated by the Insurance Service Organization, which mandates or establishes what our insurance premiums are, and also mandated by Pinellas County EMS and our medical director, who is Dr. Jameson. Like I said, we're a full-service fire service providing fire suppression, advanced life support techniques, water rescue operations, fire prevention, hazardous materials. You know, my firefighters, whenever they get a call for service, I don't want it to be the first time that they've experienced that type of operation. So we train on a lot of different things. A lot of things are low occurrence kind of calls, but provide a high risk for our firefighters and to our citizens, so that's big for us. We're also big on public education and public awareness. They say an ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure, and I believe that. Getting Clover involved in our fire service has done an outstanding job as far as getting some recognition out there as far as public safety is concerned. She's touring the schools. She's been on, as you know, many talk shows and on videos and on TV, so she's our own little celebrity here for sure. There's also a lot of annual testing that has to be done in the fire service, from our gear to our pumping apparatus to the general equipment. I'm very proud of our fire service because they're very community-oriented. You know, we want you to know who your firefighters are. One of the biggest compliments that I used to get was from Dewey Lay, God rest his soul, but he would tell you first off, he goes, whenever I would have to call 911, he goes, I felt so much comfort knowing that I could hear the siren coming before I got off the phone with the dispatch center. That was huge. And then when they would get there, they would recognize Dewey, and they go, Dewey, what's going on with you today? You know, I mean, there's a personal element to your fire service, and I want my firefighters to be that person. You will see them out in the public on a regular basis. You'll see them at civic events, churches, doing CPR, different public functions. You'll see them at Publix. I want my firefighters out there. I want them to be intimately involved with their community. I want them to know exactly how all their equipment operates. So all their training isn't necessarily done in a classroom, but it's actually hands-on, touching, feeling, operating. You know, how would you feel if you went from driving your regular vehicle to driving that ladder truck, you know, on a spur-of-the-moment kind of thing? So that's one of the reasons why we have the firefighters utilize that apparatus whenever they go out on different events. You'll see them selling T-shirts for different charitable events. They teach CPR, and you may actually see them out there walking clover. But we're very community-oriented, and that's what we're about. Every exposure that we have out there to the public, and you'll see us when we're out, there's always someone with the apparatus available to talk to children, to answer questions, to be our ambassador for the fire service and for Madeira Beach. In closing, I'd like to just thank you for your continued support of the fire service, and with that, I'd like to offer George Hill an opportunity to speak. Yeah, if I could figure out this microphone. There you go.
George Hill, DVP3, Local 4966, Pinellas County Professional Firefighters. I represent Madeira Beach and Treasure Island. Some of the questions that we've had, it is our job to educate people, and one of the things is in relation to us being out and about in the community. And that's a common practice for not only here, but within the nation when it comes to fire department. And the reason we do this, just to reiterate what Chief said, is to shake hands, to meet the public, to get to know some of the hazards of the area, to train, to really get a hold of the community that we serve. And we've done a really good job when it comes to that. And speaking from the firefighters, they take a really strong work ethic when it comes to that stuff. And that shows for your response times. That shows for being the number one, the fastest unit that bunks out within this county. So if you ever see us, we definitely want to shake hands. We're always welcome to questions. We're out there for you guys. And you guys are always our number one priority. And we always want you to know that when that tone goes off, wherever we may be, we're always ready, and we're always ready to respond, and that's what every firefighter within Madeira Beach is ready to do. Thank you for your time.
Madam Mayor, if I may just briefly add to the comments that Lieutenant Hill and Chief mentioned, is we've gotten some questions and some concerns from members of the public with regards to the use of the fire apparatus to go on supply runs, whether it's Publix or what have you. And the concern has been predicated on the vehicle or the apparatus being on the other side of the community, and let's say for conversation's sake, the bridge is up. And so I have asked that for this particular moment for us to cease that practice until we have the opportunity to get an opinion or perspective from the board if you have any concerns or issues with regards to the utilization of that apparatus in that format. And if the board is okay with that, then we would write it into our SOPs. But we did want to get a perspective from the Board of Commissioners with regards to that. I've asked Lieutenant Hill and Chief to look at other agencies to see if it is common practice, and they can provide some additional perspective on that. But we're asking if there's any issues with respect to our fire personnel utilizing the aerial apparatus or the squad to go on supply runs, etc.
If I could make one more comment before we get down that road too far. The policy that we have here in Madeira Beach, the policy that we did have in Madeira Beach, is the same throughout Pinellas County. Your firefighters are on duty for 24 hours at a time, and the firefighters are afforded this benefit because they do work that 24-hour shift. It makes it very difficult for them to eat during that time period if they can't go out to someplace to get food. There is established guidelines of what they can do and what they can't do. They have to maintain their area inside their first due area. The area that we protect, the area that is part of the city of Madeira Beach, includes Publix. It includes everything from the Gulf out here to Johns Pass. We actually cover all the way up into North Reddington because of the contractual issue that we have. But the firefighters have those standards put in place. There's a standard that there's a firefighter with that apparatus as our ambassador. They don't go into restaurants to sit down to have a meal. If they are going to get their food, they're going to get their food, and they're going to come out and they're going to leave. And that's the way it's been done here consistently for as long as I've been with the city of Madeira Beach. And as far as I know, that's the standard policy throughout Pinellas County. So it doesn't matter if, you're across the bridge on an emergency call, or if you're over there grabbing a bite to eat, or if you're at the American Legion, those calls still belong to us. That's still part of the city of Madeira Beach. So that is still our first due response area. And you can say, well, you shouldn't be over on that side of the bridge. Well, it happens all the time. Whenever we have emergency responses, Pinellas County has a very progressive emergency services system here. And what happens is we run closest unit response, automatic mutual aid. We have a common medical director. We have common tactical operations. So it doesn't matter if we're over there on an emergency call in another area possibly, or if we're at Publix. If there's a call here, there's coverage that will come in to cover this city. Just like if we're in Treasure Island on a call, someone across from Seminole will come across that bridge and take care of that emergency. I will tell you that Pinellas County dispatch system is incredible. Whenever they get a call and they know that one of us, whether it's us or Seminole, has to cross that bridge, they call the bridge tender ahead of time and say, here's what's going on, put the bridge down, try to clear your traffic out. Clearing the traffic out is difficult, but what they'll do is they'll pull that bridge down and they'll open up that lane of traffic so people can get in and out across that bridge. It happens every day, multiple times a day. Either units are coming across that bridge to service the city of Madeira Beach, or we're going to cross that bridge to service Treasure Island. We got 3 bridges around us, so it's going to happen on a regular basis. We are not able to afford to have our own fire service here that operates independently without that mutual aid system that we've got put in place. If you did, it would be astronomical. The National Fire Protection Association says on the first alarm, like we had the other day, you need to have at least 17 people. We only have, when everybody's here and we're at full staffing, we only have 4 firefighters on duty. So, we've got to have those mutual aid systems in place for smaller departments. There's not really a department in Pinellas County that can operate independently without some type of mutual aid system in place. So that's why we allow our firefighters to go across the bridge. It's just part of our daily operations, whether we're on emergency calls or whether we are going for a civic event or whether we're going over to Publix to get lunch.
And whenever there's a bridge up or bridge stuck, Chief has established run card modifications. So dispatch is aware of the situation, they're in good contact, and they will make the adjustments to run cards through our approval. So we're always in good contact with them in regards to that.
Well, I just want to say thank you for your service. You guys do an amazing job in protecting our citizens every single day and put your lives on the line. And Madeira Beach is very proud of our fire department. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I appreciate that as well.
Madam Mayor, may I make a comment? I've never seen an annual report before. Have you done them before, or is this?
Every year since I've been
here. It looks
here.
great. It looks great, and I just haven't obviously paid attention.
It's developed over time, and Trish Eaton's the one that needs all the accolades for this. We give her the information and stuff, but she's the one that puts it all together, makes it look shiny and nice. So.
Okay, thank you.
Well, tell her she did a great job.
Thank you, I will.
Madam Mayor, is there any concern with respect to the fire personnel being able to utilize their apparatus the way in which they were before I stopped it until we had the discussion here with the Board of Commissioners?
As far as I'm concerned, that's perfectly fine. You've addressed, the fact that people are alerted to where you are, and the bridge, has opportunity to open for you. And like you said, you're not always going to be right in Madeira. You're going to be in Reddington or Seminole or someplace else. You're going to be across some bridge somewhere.
Madeira Beach is a small fire department, but we actually operate as a large organization in the Pinellas County system with our automatic aid close unit response. Whenever you see any type of major event, you'll see patches on shirts from every surrounding department you can think of. And it works seamlessly as far as the firefighters are concerned. It's a very good system that you have here in Pinellas County.
And I actually, when driving around the city, I often see fire trucks at different Publix or Winn-Dixie, so it appears to be a common practice.
They do a very nice job. And, case in point, the structure fire we had here a couple of weeks ago, the actual first due units that came in were from every other department other than Madeira Beach. Madeira Beach was actually committed on another medical rescue call at the time, but we had first due units in from Largo, from Pinellas Park, from all over Pinellas County, because with this system, we have the ability to reach out to those resources to make it operate seamlessly for us, and it worked out well for us that day.
So we have consensus from the...
Oops, may I make a comment? Sure. I will have to say in past years, I had a problem, or maybe it was an issue or whatever, with regards to the fire truck a lot of times being at Publix, okay? And then I was reminded by, I think it was a commissioner in Treasure Island, making up this, or making a comment about it. And she reminded me, certainly, that the mutual consideration between all these different cities allows certainly that when, for instance, somebody in Treasure Island, she made the comment, she said, well, if our Treasure Island is over there by the golf course across the bridge or whatever, or in St. Petersburg, she said, it's always Madeira Beach that does that, mutual aid. So then I kind of backed off a little bit and understood, that there really is that cooperation. So, but thank you for elaborating on it.
Yes, ma'am.
So do we have a consensus that this is an agreeable practice?
Good by me.
I'm sorry? I didn't catch everybody. Yes, okay. Very good. All right, thank you.
One last thing before I get out of here, talking about opportunities to help educate the public. Lieutenant George Hill and the Firefighters Union in general, along with the assistance from the Pinellas County Fire Chiefs Association, puts together Fire Ops 101 every year. And it's basically a day when you get to go out and experience what actually occurs in the fire service. And Mr. Evans can attest to the fact that it's a very educational day, it's a fun day. I think Lieutenant Hill has something that's been long overdue that he was going to provide to the city manager.
Yeah, we're going to give the city manager a shirt. It's a little overdue, especially since we're getting the fire ops the next year, which is actually May 11th. We got a couple flyers we want to hand out. And that's for any elected official, commissioner that wants to join and basically experience what it's like to be a firefighter for the day. I would like to say thank you to our city manager, Evans, who was a great representative for our city. And as a firefighter, it made me proud to represent the city of Madeira Beach, to have Evans represent us there, and he did. He not only was there, he asked questions. He made me answer a lot of questions, which I didn't like too much, but great representative to our city. So I say thank you to you, sir.
I appreciate it.
I'll go hand you your shirt.
Yeah, let's see it.
Oh, looks like. Show the back. The back's pretty fun. There you go. There you go. All right. Fantastic. Thank you, Mayor, Commissioners. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
I appreciate it, guys. Even though we're getting ready to get into budget conversations, we appreciate it. Perfect timing on the gift.
All right, finally, we have reports and correspondence. Any reports or correspondence from the City Commission?
Yes, Mayor. I'd like to thank everybody again, all of the community and people outside the community for participating in that Great American Cleanup on Saturday, March the 16th. I was there and we picked up lots of stuff from the beach and everybody just did a great job. This Great American Cleanup does not mean that we're off the hook for any length of time, because we have coming up the regular scheduled monthly Madeira Beach cleanup, which is under the help of the Public Works Department. And I just wanted to say that was a great effort. And also on March the 11th and on March the 14th, the past couple of weeks, I attended the Tampa Bay Regional Planning Council meeting. And on March the 11th, there was a very interesting presentation about the community rating system, and it was really fortunate that I knew a little bit more than a lot of those people, because our community development director has just done an outstanding job, really, in informing us and educating us. And you wouldn't believe, Director, you were not there, but it was unimaginable to me that so many people were not as fortunate as we are to be educated in that understanding. So I thank you for that. And on March the 14th, there was the Agency on Bay Management meeting, and it's just a presentation by lots of different people within the water management system. And they did have a really good presentation this time from the United States Geological. And she just did a good job of explaining a lot about the sands and all this kind of thing that we've discussed with FEMA before. So that was kind of interesting. And I just wanted to share that with you.
Oh, thank you. Any other reports from the commission? City Attorney, any reports?
Not tonight, thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you. City Manager?
Congratulations, Commissioner Douther. Congratulations, Commissioner Andrews.
And City Clerk? It's 7:47, there being no further business, we are adjourned. Thank you.